It's like needing, not even to win, needing even one wreck.
Okay.
Because that would have been a very, very nervous.
Oh my God! Wow!
Well, he struggled like many have struggled in the group phase. It's never a certainty. I think we may see the best of Efren here. A little bit of the heat off, the levels of expectation all of a sudden lessened the worry of qualifying. Excellently controlled break there from Efren, and would consider himself slightly unlucky to have not got an easier shot on this two. I bet when he played that shot, he also had in mind the snooker behind the five. Crowd laughing there as Tony Drago was so quickly down in his shot that Efren was in his eye line and as he was sitting down. Not an easy game to play when you've actually qualified. Sometimes when there's absolutely no tension in the game, sometimes you don't play your best.
I have a feeling that Tony would like to get this feather in his cap anyway. You never know who you might meet in the knockout stages.
That's right. The other thing, as perhaps not many people know at home, it's not just that Tony Drago got to the semi-finals of this World Championship last year, but he plays an awful lot of pool now. And of all the snooker players, I would say he is certainly the most practiced, and I think perhaps has achieved the most in the world of pool from the snooker aspect by winning the Masters last year. He's very much a threat. He's very much a pool player now, an all-rounder.
To break into this cluster of colors.
Second rack, Tony Drago to break,
Seen the wing
leading
ball
by one
going
rack
down
to nil.
with regularity there again.
Kicked badly into the pocket.
Foul shot, ball in hand.
And I don't expect this to be a match. I don't.
First time.
Prepare for the next phase of the tournament. Not really any problems with this particular set of balls.
You know, Steve, he uses a very long cue, considering he's only about 5'8", does Reyes, about 60, 61 inches, I was told.
Well, a lot of these players are not as proficient with the rest. Efren, I think, plays with a very old pool cue. He doesn't get sucked into the world of the new brigade of cue makers who talk a good cue. Perhaps are no better than.
Simple 9 to have split the opening two racks. Deposited, and the magician
Required for each table he plays on. He was using the cut break a couple of years ago, which makes the cue ball come to the side cushion after contacting the one ball. He's not using that this time, considering himself it.
Yes, many players in the game feel that if Reyes does have an Achilles heel, it's in the form of his break. Mind you, you wouldn't know it after the first two he's hit here.
Oh my God! Wow!
Too sure whether we've actually seen Earl Strickland talking about that yet, but he got some interesting views on the break-off shot in the World Championship.
Wow!
Yeah, we've been somewhat fortunate here. We haven't had any rain during play with all the doors open, and it's been very humid already. If it ever started raining, these tables might really become a little more sluggish, and certainly the throw off the cushions would change.
It was the earthquakes I was more worried about, Jim.
I understand they get about one of those a month here too. And you know, there's a player in the United States they call the earthquake, Keith McCready. He'd enjoy it here, and right now the enjoyment is falling on the shoulders of Efrenreyes. 2-1 ahead of the tornado, Tony Drago.
Shoulder going through. A softer Slightly softer break from Tony. He can break harder than that, and it's paid off in one respect, but perhaps not in another. So perhaps a safety. 1 onto the 2 ball, send the cue ball across the table behind the 5. There's an option. Missed the 2 and has left Efren a chance. Can you manufacture a shot to get back out for position on that 2 ball? That's not easy. The green 6 is very much in the way of that. May just have enough room. The green 6 helped him.
A very useful little touch on the 6 there. Now stretching over, left-handed, ensuring to
in that way. I suppose you could say there's an optical illusion sometimes that you can't see the middle of the ball because there's a spot to one side or the other, but generally you look through the cue ball somewhat. Reyes smoothly and confidently playing.
He knows he has survived Judgment Day, and he's leading. Drago 3-1. 5 balls down on the break as well. Not bad at all. Let's head back to commentary.
I know there's a little bit of luck attached, but a terrible position on the 2 ball. Look, nowhere near it. Not so easy to play safe when there's less balls on the table, so trying to manufacture a good safety shot here. Perhaps he'll play the double. He may play the bank. Definitely didn't there. You can see by where the cue ball finished up that he was no intentions of playing position for the 3. So what can Tony do? This isn't easy. Playing the safety to just in front of the middle pocket, and it's just nose out. It is very difficult to pot into that middle, I would imagine, but it's a realistic opportunity into the corner pocket. May go in the middle. Didn't look a problem. 4-1 from Tony Drago. Looks like he's going to be breaking to save the match.
And this certainly will help Efrenreyes move up in the table in his group. As we said earlier, both players through to the...
And he was 3-0 down in that match as well.
Ball made off the break.
Shot. I don't really think there's any value in playing the bank shot. Why not play the right shot? Bit of match practice. Just sneaked it behind the 2. And that's a very good safety. Made more difficult the escape by the green 6 that stops Efren going to the other side of the table. But there's a chance to play a snooker back here if he can contact the ball full. Good pace on that shot.
Tony gets down. Great representation from the Philippine contingent this year. Really no one that didn't turn out. One of the Filipino stars, Jose Perica, now lives in America, failed to make it through the qualifying stages.
Just not getting the balls completely safe, Tony. Well, they're safe, but at this level of play, leaving your opponent this type of shot can lead to problems, as he can get you in a very, very good snooker back. He doesn't want this to really go in. Well, perhaps he does, I don't know. He's left himself a very difficult 2. They love that. Perhaps somebody's just told him a joke at the same time. Whether or not he can pot the 2 past the 5, but then trying to maintain position for the 3 is awkward. Oh, it's tight. No, safety across the face of the 2. Left-hand spin, trying to keep that ball as close to the bottom cushion as possible, but concentrating on sending the blue 2 in a direct line up the table. Tony spotted something very quickly. Yes, I thought he might be playing that shot. It's just come unstuck, and now the choice: the 2-9 combination or run the rack normally.
The 2-9 would be a winner. A little more difficult than just slotting the 2 and then playing position to the 3, though. So he's taken the overland path to victory here. Reyes putting on a clinical display, not of breaking, but masterful positional play and safety play with it. And that's the reason he takes out Tony Drago 5-1.
Oh my God! Wow!
For the last 64, but in this instance, a message to all of who are playing World sent. Reyes a 5-1 victor over Tony Drago.